Alright, hello everyone, Mr. NoSouls here, and once again, I am playing Logic Bombs. I need to take a break between every run, at least like 10-15 minutes to give my brain a chance to reset. So, yeah, let's see. So this would be 32. So 31, 30, 29, 28. Did I do that right? Let's see. What was the last video I put up? 28. I'm right. Okay, so 29 it is. Yeah, see, this is why I drink. Matt, you're the reason I drink. What in the ever-loving hell have you created, my dude? That's not physically possible. Yeah, which actually means this has to go here, no matter what. It literally can't. So the question really comes down to, does it hit this, or does it hit this? Can't do that, because then this can't solve too. Or, no, wait, I can do this and that. Well, wait, I don't have a reason to know that that's actually cleared that way. No, 2, I know that has to be there and that has to be there, so that does force a clear on this. Then this has to be here. That has to be there. This has to be here. This has to be here. That has to be there. Somewhere in here. 2, 3. Okay, got that going for me. Okay. Mm. It's a 50-50 split. I think there's a strong possibility, but I have to question my bomb selection. I don't know if I did it right here. Actually, I know this can't be right because this has to have 3 and there's no physical way to do 3. Frick. Okay. Because the way this works, I need 3 spaces here, which means this thing has to go up for one of these. Because if it goes both ways, I don't have enough spots. Isn't possible. It's not possible either. Three is possible. That has to be there. These have to be here. These have to be here. Those have to be there. I'm getting better. I'm slowly getting better at this. Of course, that's exactly what you'd say right before you get your butt absolutely handed to you. Uh, no, nope. Minorly helpful at least. Oh yeah, I also know. That's cleared out. There's really nothing else. Nothing else that immediately tells me if I don't do something, it's going to have a problem. I actually know because there's only one here. It has to be somewhere in these three. Right? Yeah. And because of this, and there's two. Yeah. Okay. Don't have to worry about that. I'm close. I am getting closer. Every time a little step further. See, like there's some degree of like planning here. Like could be split like this. Because that would be a solution. Right? And then you could say that would be another one. Actually, no, that would be correct. Wow. It's kind of that's kind of like when you look at something like as I was saying, like sometimes you look at it and you just get like the general shape in your head because you're just seeing all the floating pieces and then you just kind of like, well, this has to be like this and this would have to be like this and because this and this here would have to anchor if these assumptions are correct, it like flows through and it's just like this weird moment of it definitely is a kind of like logic where you're just like, well, like this point exists, and they have to kind of mirror each other, and you have to split these up individually. So if you built a diamond, because you have the point here and the point here that would be exactly parallel on like this point, and then you have these points here that would be exactly parallel, and you would split out, you know, these stars here, and then you had like the 1 2 right here, so it's like, well, then you could go and connect the middle, and you'd split that out internally to the two different sets of parallels. So it's just like, there's logic. It's definitely using the rules, but it's not like in some of them. Some of them are like, okay, this has to go sequentially 1 2 3 4. um Sometimes it's like, okay, if this is correct, and this is correct, and I have this and this, assuming that, like, I have followed all the steps sequentially, and I haven't somehow jumped a step or whatever, and I'm no longer able to see the individual step I need to take, um, you all of a sudden end up in this situation of like, well, if this is true, then like section 6 through 10 has to be this shape, and then section 12 through like 14 has to be this, and then 20 to 23 to 24 25 has to be this then. And then all of a sudden you get a solution, and you're like, well, there's a sequence there, I suppose, but it's not like the same way you're sequencing previously. And I think that's where some people might be coming in and saying like, well, the game isn't really logic. And I'm like, no, that is a type of logic, kind of, but it's effectively different types of logic. It's like pattern matching versus, like, they try to say this game is logic, right? And at the start, it's like proofs. That's the way it's built, is logical proofs. But then, as things start going on, it stops being individual proofs and it becomes theorems. And there's no real warning when you're going to run into a proof equation or theorem equation. And when you're dealing then with these two different groups, you're in this situation of, okay, I am now going to linearly follow this path and get to a conclusion, or I will have groups of solutions that, should they be correct, I will get to the solution. And they're both logical, but they're very different types of logic. And one is directly, like, it's explicitly called out, and the other one is inferred. Um, and there's nothing. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I think it's a matter of optics, and it's a matter of how people feel about those two different. They are very different trains of thought. Some people are more naturally inclined to one over the other, and I think that might be why some people have such difficulty. It's also kind of interesting because now I'm noticing I'm getting less stars or sorry, red cats open, because I remember, like, when I started getting up to around here, I had everything open, and now I just have like a couple. Like, I'm down to 4. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. This is Mr. No Soul signing off.